Welcome back to my channel, Pocket Change Coins. If you're excited about finding hidden gems in your pocket change, you're in the right place. First, we're going to uncover some of the most valuable and rare US coins that could be worth a fortune. Let's dive in. I'm referring to the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter, released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program. The 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter has a design that captures the essence of the Badger State, but what really makes this coin stand out is not just the imagery on the reverse side, it's the incredible value this coin can hold, especially if you know what to look for. Let's dive into the history first. Wisconsin became the 30th state to join the Union, and its quarter was released in 2004 as part of the state series. The design on the reverse of the quarter features a large, bold image of a cow, symbolizing the state's rich agricultural history. You also see a few ears of corn, which are a nod to Wisconsin's agricultural dominance, particularly in dairy farming. Above the image of the cow, you'll find the inscription, Wisconsin, and below, the year the state joined the Union, 1848. The 2004 Wisconsin quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, which is why it carries the D mint mark. But, as with many coins, not all Wisconsin quarters are created equal. While most of them were minted in huge quantities and circulated widely, there are certain varieties of this coin that can be worth significantly more than the face value. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding onto something worth thousands of dollars. What makes the 2004 Wisconsin quarter so special in the world of coin collectors is a unique feature that appears in some of the coins, an extra leaf on the ear of corn in the design. If you take a close look at the coin, you'll notice that some of the Wisconsin quarters have an extra, smaller leaf tucked into the ear of corn. This is a result of a minting error, and it's known as the extra leaf variety. This extra leaf error is incredibly rare, and that rarity is what makes these particular coins so valuable. When it comes to collecting coins, error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and the more unusual the error, the higher the price tag. This is one of those errors that has caught the eye of collectors around the world. A coin that has this error, in mint condition, can fetch a substantial price, but even if you don't find the extra leaf error, a standard 2004 Wisconsin quarter in excellent, uncirculated condition can still be worth a lot more than the 25 cents it was originally minted for. Coins in perfect or near perfect condition, with no signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, are always in high demand. In fact, these coins can sell for much more than their face value, depending on the grade and condition. Now, let's talk numbers. If you happen to find a 2004 Wisconsin quarter with the extra leaf error, in flawless or near flawless condition, you're looking at a coin that could be worth $70,000. Yes, $70,000, for a single quarter. It's hard to believe, right? But that's the power of rarity and condition when it comes to coin collecting. The extra leaf variety is incredibly hard to come by. Most of the coins that were struck during that year didn't have this error, so when one pops up in mint condition, it immediately becomes a hot commodity. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for such a rare find, and if you have one of these quarters in your collection, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. So, how can you tell if you have this error coin? Well, it's all about paying close attention to the details. The extra leaf can be found on the left side of the ear of corn, near the bottom, where there is an additional small leaf that doesn't appear on the regular versions of the coin. If you spot this small extra leaf, then congratulations, you've found something truly special. To get the maximum value for your 2004 Wisconsin quarter, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading services will evaluate the coin's condition and assign it a grade, which will directly affect its value. Coins that are graded MS 67 or higher are considered to be in mint or near mint condition, which is where the big value comes in. Even if your coin doesn't have the extra leaf, you should still check its condition. A high-quality, uncirculated coin can still be worth a significant amount of money, though it won't reach the same astronomical prices as the error coin. If you've got a collection of these state quarters, especially if you're from Wisconsin or have found some from the 2004 series, it's worth taking the time to look through them carefully. In the world of coin collecting, sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference. Whether it's a minting error like the extra leaf or simply finding a coin in pristine condition, the value of a coin can shoot up dramatically when the right conditions are met. So, to recap, if you have a 2004 Wisconsin state quarter, make sure to check it carefully for that extra leaf on the ear of corn. If it's in mint condition and you found that rare error, you could be holding onto a coin worth an incredible $70,000. Second rare coin, we're talking about a very special coin, the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter. As part of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, the Louisiana Quarter was released in 2002 to honor the Pelican State. Most people know Louisiana for its rich culture, history, and of course, Mardi Gras, but the state's quarter design captures a different aspect of its unique heritage, one that may surprise you. But what's even more interesting than the coin's design is the value it can hold. If you've got one of these quarters in pristine condition, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. First, let's take a closer look at the design of the Louisiana State Quarter. The reverse side of the quarter features an image of a pelican in flight, with its wings spread wide. This iconic bird is a symbol of Louisiana, specifically tied to the state's nickname, the Pelican State. Above the bird, you'll notice the words Louisiana and 1812, marking the year Louisiana became the 18th state to join the Union. The pelican's wings are spread gracefully, symbolizing freedom, power, and the state's natural beauty. The coin's design was chosen to celebrate Louisiana's historical significance, as it was the first state to join the Union after the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. This acquisition, made by President Thomas Jefferson, doubled the size of the United States and greatly expanded its territory westward. That makes this quarter not only a beautiful tribute to the state's rich culture but also a reminder of one of the most important moments in American history. But here's where things get exciting. While the Louisiana State Quarter may seem like a fairly standard coin, there are some features that can significantly increase its value. Most of these quarters were minted in large quantities, which means you're going to find a lot of them in circulation. However, as with all coin collecting, the value of a coin is determined by its rarity, condition, and sometimes, any unique errors that occurred during minting. Now, let's talk about what makes the 2002 Louisiana Quarter so valuable. As with many coins, condition is key. Most quarters you find will be in worn, circulated condition, showing signs of use like scratches, fading, or discoloration. However, what collectors are really after are coins that are in mint or near mint condition, those that look as though they just came out of the minting process. These coins are much rarer, and therefore, much more valuable. In addition to the pristine condition, the 2002 Louisiana Quarter can also be worth more if it has any sort of minting error. Errors can range from double strikes to off-center impressions, and these anomalies can significantly increase the coin's appeal to collectors. If you come across a Louisiana Quarter with such a mistake, it could be worth much more than the typical example. But here's the kicker: if you have a 2002 Louisiana State Quarter that is in exceptional condition, you could be holding on to a coin worth up to $31,000. Yes, you heard that right, $31,000. That's the kind of value that can turn a simple coin into a rare and valuable collector's item. These high-value coins are typically those that are graded at a higher level, such as MS 67 or higher, by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins that are graded in this way are extremely valuable to serious collectors, especially when they're as rare as a pristine 2002 Louisiana Quarter. Now, how can you tell if your Louisiana Quarter is one of those rare, valuable finds? First, check the condition. Look for any signs of wear or damage, as these can greatly reduce the coin's value. If your coin looks almost brand new, with sharp details and no visible scratches or discoloration, it's worth considering getting it professionally graded. You'll also want to check for any potential minting errors. Look for anything unusual, such as off-center designs or doubled images. While these errors may be small, they can have a huge impact on the value of the coin. The Louisiana State Quarter is a perfect example of how seemingly ordinary coins can sometimes hold extraordinary value. Whether it's because of the state's historic significance, the beautiful design, or the rare condition of certain coins, the Louisiana quarter is a collector's dream. If you have one of these quarters tucked away in your collection, it might be time to take another look and see if you have a hidden treasure. Before you start rummaging through your coin jar, remember that rarity and condition are key. But even if you don't have the high-value error coin or one in perfect condition, don't forget that the 2002 Louisiana quarter is still a fascinating piece of American history and an important part of the 50-state quarters program. To sum up, if you happen to have a 2002 Louisiana state quarter that is in uncirculated, pristine condition, or better yet, features a minting error, you could be holding a coin worth as much as $31,000. It's amazing how much value these little pieces of history can hold. So, take a moment to dig through your change or check that coin collection you've been meaning to organize. You never know, you might just have one of these valuable treasures sitting right in your own collection. Third expensive coin, I'm talking about the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. Released as part of the iconic 50-state quarters program, the Connecticut quarter was minted in 1999, and it's one that has captured the attention of collectors ever since. But what makes this coin so special, and why should you care about it? Well, hold on to your hats, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this quarter could be worth way more than just 25 cents. Let's take a moment to talk about the history behind the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. Connecticut, one of the original 13 colonies, became the fifth state to join the Union in 1788, and its quarter was released as part of the state series to commemorate its entrance. But Connecticut's rich history and heritage are not just reflected in the year it became a state. The design on the reverse side of the coin carries deep symbolism, and it's an image that has great significance in the state's legacy. The design features a historical scene, showcasing the famous charter oak tree that once stood in Hartford, Connecticut. This oak tree is central to Connecticut's history because, in 1687, the colony's royal charter was hidden in the tree to protect it from being seized by the British governor. The story of the charter oak is an important symbol of the state's fight for independence and its early days as part of the United States. Along with the tree, the design also includes the words, "the charter oak," and the state's year of entry into the Union, 1788. It's a beautiful tribute to Connecticut's heritage and the events that helped shape the early American Republic. But, while the design itself is incredibly meaningful, what makes this particular coin so valuable is its rarity and the conditions under which it was minted. Most of these Connecticut quarters were produced in large quantities, with millions of them being struck at the Denver Mint in 1999. However, just because a coin was minted in large numbers doesn't mean they're all the same. In fact, some of these quarters stand out because they were struck with unique features or, in some cases, errors that are highly sought after by collectors. The 1999 Connecticut quarter may look like any other state quarter at first glance, but for serious coin collectors, there are specific characteristics that can make it far more valuable. For one, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. If you have a 1999 Connecticut quarter in near mint or mint condition, meaning it has no scratches, no discoloration, and all the details are sharp and clear, you could be holding onto something that's worth a lot more than just a quarter. But even more exciting are the coins with minting errors. Minting errors are common in coin collecting, and when a coin is produced with a flaw, it can make it incredibly rare and valuable. These flaws can range from doubled strikes to misaligned designs, and they make the coin a one-of-a-kind treasure. While not every 1999 Connecticut quarter will have such an error, those that do can fetch a very high price in the market. Now, here's the exciting part. If you happen to have a 1999 Connecticut quarter that is in perfect, uncirculated condition, or if you find one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin that is worth a whopping $89,000. That's right, $89,000 for a single quarter. This isn't just pocket change anymore. A well-preserved Connecticut quarter with the right characteristics can be worth more than many people make in a year. So, how do you know if you've got one of these high-value quarters? First, start by inspecting the condition of your coin. Look for any signs of wear, discoloration, or damage. A coin that looks brand new, with no visible marks or scratches, is going to be the most valuable. The next step is to check for any minting errors. Carefully look for any doubled images, off-center strikes, or unusual features that don't match the typical design. If you see anything out of the ordinary, that could mean you found a coin with a minting error. If you think you might have a rare Connecticut quarter, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded. Grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can evaluate the condition of your coin and give it a grade. Higher grade coins, like those that are graded MS-67 or higher, are more valuable because they have little to no wear and retain their original luster, but even if your coin doesn't have a minting error, don't count it out just yet. A pristine, uncirculated 1999 Die Connecticut quarter is still worth far more than face value. While these coins are often sold for several $100s in excellent condition, a flawless example can still bring in thousands, depending on the market and demand. So, what's the bottom line? If you've got a 1999 Die Connecticut state quarter, especially one that's in perfect condition or has an error, it could be worth as much as $89,000. It's amazing how something as small as a quarter can hold such value, but it's a perfect example of how rarity, condition, and historical significance all come together to create a coin that's worth much more than its original face value. Before you rush to check your change jar, keep in mind that most of these quarters won't be worth thousands. However, it's always a good idea to carefully examine your collection or any coins you come across to make sure you don't miss a potential treasure. Especially, we're going to explore something really exciting, the 2000 New Hampshire state quarter. This coin, while seemingly like any other quarter, holds a fascinating history and a value that could surprise you. Now, if you've ever wondered if those old quarters in your collection could be worth a lot of money, you might want to pay close attention to this one. The New Hampshire quarter, part of the 50 state quarters program, may just be hiding a treasure worth far more than its face value. So, what makes the New Hampshire quarter so special? Let's break it down. Released in 2000, the New Hampshire quarter was designed to honor the state's historical significance and its unique place in American history. New Hampshire was the 9th state to join the Union, and the quarter's design pays tribute to the state's motto, "Live free or die." This powerful phrase, which is seen prominently on the coin, embodies the spirit of independence and resilience that the state is known for. The design on the reverse side of the quarter is a reflection of New Hampshire's natural beauty and its historical landmarks. It features an image of a man on horseback, riding through the countryside, with a banner displaying the state's motto. The background shows the majestic Mount Washington, which is the highest peak in the state and one of the most iconic landmarks in the region. The design perfectly captures the essence of New Hampshire, a place where freedom, history, and natural beauty come together. Now, let's talk about the importance of this coin in the world of numismatics. While the New Hampshire quarter was minted in large quantities, millions, in fact, not all of them are created equal. As with any coin, the value is largely determined by its condition. Most of these quarters were circulated and have seen plenty of use, which means they may be worn or damaged. However, if you happen to have a New Hampshire quarter that is in mint or near mint condition, you could be sitting on something really special, but it doesn't stop there. The 2000 New Hampshire state quarter is also of interest to collectors because of its unique features. Like many coins, there are some rare errors that can significantly boost the value of a coin. These errors can be anything from a double strike to a misaligned design. While these mistakes might seem small, they make the coin much more desirable to collectors, especially those looking for rare, one-of-a-kind pieces. So, if you have a New Hampshire quarter that shows signs of minting errors, you might want to take a closer look because that little flaw could mean big money. In addition to errors, the key factor in the value of the 2000 New Hampshire quarter is its condition. The best examples of this coin are those that are in uncirculated or proof condition. These are the coins that look as though they just came out of the minting process, with no visible wear, scratches, or discoloration. Coins that are in pristine condition are far rarer than those that have been circulated, which means they command a much higher price in the market. Now, here comes the exciting part. If you've got a 2000 New Hampshire quarter in excellent condition, or if you've come across one with a minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $50,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $50,000. That's a staggering amount for a single quarter, and it just goes to show how much value a rare coin can hold. Of course, not every New Hampshire quarter will be worth this much, but if you've got a particularly rare or pristine example, you could be looking at a valuable treasure. So, how do you determine if your coin is one of these rare gems? First, start by examining the condition of the coin. If your quarter has been in circulation for a while and shows signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, or fading, it's probably not going to be worth a huge sum. But if your coin is in perfect condition, with sharp, clear details and no visible damage, you're off to a great start. Next, look for any minting errors. These can be tricky to spot, but it's worth taking a close look at your quarter to see if you notice anything unusual. Some errors may be obvious, like a doubled image or a misaligned strike, while others might be more subtle. If you do find an error, make sure to get it professionally graded. Grading services like PCGS or NGC will evaluate your coin and give it a grade, which can significantly increase its value, and even if you don't have a minting error, don't give up hope. Coins in near-perfect condition are still highly sought after, and the 2000 P New Hampshire quarter can still fetch a great price. The more pristine the coin, the more valuable it becomes. So, if you think you have a quarter that might be worth something, consider getting it graded and appraised by a professional. In conclusion, the 2000 P New Hampshire State Quarter is not just another coin, it's a potential goldmine for collectors. With its beautiful design, historical significance, and the possibility of rare minting errors, this coin can be worth much more than just a quarter. If you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, or even better, with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $50,000. It's incredible to think that a simple piece of currency can hold so much value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. You never know what treasures you might find hidden in your change. Next coin, we're shining the spotlight on a particular coin that you might not expect to be so valuable, the 2008 P Oklahoma State Quarter. The Oklahoma State Quarter was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program, which was a series of coins designed to honor each state in the U.S. Oklahoma's quarter was issued in 2008, and it beautifully commemorates the state's rich heritage and history. But what makes this coin so interesting and valuable? Let's dig in and find out. First, let's talk about the history behind this coin. Oklahoma joined the Union in 1907, and it quickly became known for its iconic landscape, Native American heritage, and its role in the development of the American West. The quarter was designed to celebrate the state's history and its people. The reverse side of the coin features a stunning image of a scissortail flycatcher, Oklahoma's state bird, flying above a field of wheat. In the background, the design also includes a red rock formation, which is an iconic feature of Oklahoma's natural beauty. The coin's design effectively captures the essence of Oklahoma, a place full of natural wonders, wildlife, and rich cultural history. Now, while the Oklahoma State Quarter may seem like a simple coin at first glance, there's more to it than meets the eye. As with any coin, the value depends on factors like the condition of the coin and whether it has any unique or rare characteristics. While millions of these quarters were minted in 2008, only a small percentage of them remain in mint or near mint condition, and that's where the real value lies. If you come across a 2008 P Oklahoma State Quarter that is in uncirculated or near perfect condition, you could be looking at something much more valuable than just a 25-cent coin. These coins were circulated widely, which means that many of them show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and fading. The ones that have survived in pristine condition are much rarer, and as a result, their value increases significantly, but it doesn't stop there. As many of you know, certain coins become even more valuable when they have minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that happen during the production process, and they can make a coin incredibly rare. With the Oklahoma State Quarter, there are a few known errors that collectors are on the lookout for. These include double strikes, misaligned designs, and other imperfections that make the coin stand out from the rest. If you happen to have an Oklahoma quarter with one of these minting errors, you could be in for a serious payday. Collectors actively search for error coins because they are unique and one of a kind. A minting error can drive up the value of a coin exponentially. So, if you notice any unusual features on your 2008 P Oklahoma quarter, such as doubled images or odd markings, you may have stumbled upon a very valuable coin, but what if you don't find any minting errors? Don't worry. Even a perfectly uncirculated 2008 Oklahoma State quarter can still be worth much more than its face value. Coins that are in pristine condition, free from scratches or discoloration, are always in demand among collectors. So, if your coin looks brand new and has retained its original luster, you're already looking at a coin that could be worth much more than just a quarter. At this point, you may be wondering, how much could this coin actually be worth? Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 2008 Oklahoma State quarter in flawless, uncirculated condition, or one that features a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $44,000. Yes, you heard that right, $44,000 for a single 25-cent coin. It's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly insignificant piece of currency could hold so much value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. The value is often found in the rarity and condition of the coin. A coin that might seem like just another quarter can actually be a treasure trove if you know what to look for. So, how can you tell if your Oklahoma State quarter is worth a small fortune? Start by checking the condition of the coin. Coins that have been in circulation for years often show signs of wear, but if yours looks brand new, sharp details, no scratches, and no discoloration, that's a great sign it could be valuable. Next, look closely for any minting errors. These are often harder to spot, but you'll want to check for things like doubled images, misaligned designs, or anything else that seems off. If you find something unusual, it could mean your coin is a rare gem that collectors would pay top dollar for. If you suspect that your coin might be worth a lot of money, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded. Grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can assess the condition of your coin and assign it a grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. So, in conclusion, the 2008 Oklahoma State quarter is more than just a piece of change, it could be a valuable addition to your collection. Whether it's in perfect condition or has a rare minting error, this coin is definitely one that could fetch a hefty price. If you happen to have one of these quarters in your collection, or if you come across one in your spare change, make sure to take a closer look. It might just be worth $44,000. Last unique coin. You ever come across a 1999 Pennsylvania State quarter and wondered if it might be worth more than just 25 cents? Well, you might be holding on to a hidden treasure worth far more than you think. The Pennsylvania State quarter was released as part of the renowned 50 State Quarters program, which was a major initiative by the U.S. Mint in the late 1990s. Every state was represented with its own unique quarter design, and Pennsylvania's quarter was one of the most anticipated in the series. But what makes the 1999 Pennsylvania State quarter special? Let's break it down and explore the history and value behind this incredible coin. The quarter was released to honor Pennsylvania, which was the second state to join the Union in 1787. As one of the original 13 colonies, Pennsylvania played a pivotal role in the founding of the United States. The design on the reverse side of the coin features an image of the famous Commonwealth statue, a figure that stands proudly atop the Pennsylvania State Capitol building. The statue holds a spear in one hand and a sword in the other, symbolizing Pennsylvania's strength, resilience, and history of being a key player in the formation of the nation. But the real charm of the Pennsylvania State quarter lies in the symbolism it carries. The state is known for its rich heritage, with deep ties to the American Revolution, its importance as the birthplace of the Declaration of Independence, and the key role it played in shaping the country's early government. The design of the quarter reflects these deep historical roots and serves as a tribute to all the accomplishments Pennsylvania has contributed to the United States. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. At first glance, the Pennsylvania quarter may seem like just another modern coin, but the value is not always in the design, it's in the rarity, the condition, and even in the details. The 1999 Pennsylvania State quarter was minted in large quantities, but that doesn't mean they are all worth the same. Coins that have been circulated and used extensively are often not in the best condition, and while they might still hold some numismatic value, they won't be worth as much as those in pristine, uncirculated condition, when we say uncirculated, we mean coins that have been preserved perfectly since their time at the mint, free from any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Uncirculated coins are highly prized by collectors because they are rarer than those that have been used in daily transactions. If you happen to have a 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter in uncirculated condition, you could already be looking at a coin worth much more than its face value, but there's more. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins with rare minting errors, those little mistakes that can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collector's item. The 1999 Pennsylvania quarter, while not known for a specific error, is still susceptible to the kind of minting mistakes that happen from time to time. These errors can range from double dies to misaligned strikes and off-center designs. If you happen to find a 1999 Pennsylvania quarter with one of these minting errors, you could be sitting on a coin worth a lot more than just a quarter. So, how do you spot if your Pennsylvania quarter has a rare minting error or is in near-perfect condition? First, examine the coin carefully. Look for any signs of wear or discoloration. If your coin looks brand new with sharp, clear details and no visible damage, you're on the right track. For error coins, you'll want to look for things like a doubled image or an off-center design, which can sometimes be hard to notice, but they make a huge difference in value. Now, let's get to the most exciting part. How much could this coin actually be worth? While a regular 1999 Pennsylvania quarter in average condition might only be worth a small premium over face value, a coin in mint condition, especially one with a minting error, could fetch an incredible price. If you have a well-preserved 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter or one with a rare error, you could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $92,000. That's right, $92,000 for a single 25-cent coin. It's truly amazing to think that such a small piece of currency could hold such a massive value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. The rarity, condition, and history behind a coin can increase its worth exponentially. So, if you've got a 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter in your collection, or even if you've just found one in your spare change, make sure to take a closer look. If it's in excellent condition or has any minting errors, you could be sitting on a rare find. To determine the exact value of your coin, you might want to have it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give you an official grade, which will help determine its worth in the numismatic market. In conclusion, the 1999 Pennsylvania state quarter is more than just another coin. It's a piece of history, a reflection of Pennsylvania's significant role in the founding of the United States, and a potential treasure in your pocket. If you happen to have one of these quarters in pristine condition, or if you've discovered a minting error, you could have a coin worth as much as $92,000. So, always keep an eye out when you're looking through your change. You never know what hidden gems might be waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss any of our future coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting.